Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
And I'm CheerandCosplay.
And it's the last week of Merica Month. I'm going to be sad to see it go, good old Well, I mean, it's not going anywhere, but we're just not going to celebrate it. So, this last week was a grab bag of a bunch of different stuff. I think the ultimate question we started with was, could we be the American that the Japanese think we are? So we have to figure out what is the American that the Japanese think is American? So what have we kind of covered so far? We covered Team America, we covered Black Lagoon, we covered Bacchanal. Am I missing something? Banana Fish a little bit, but not really. That was more of a holdover thing. And then we have all these episodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we watched the Pokemon episode with Lieutenant Surge, the Lightning American. Yep. We watched the 2 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Bandit Keith versus Joey Wheeler. Because I wasn't going to do just one episode there. We had to finish the duel.
Right.
We did the Chibbity Crockett episode of G Gundam. Bit of a obscure one there, but I felt that it was appropriate. The baseball episode of Samurai Champloo. And the episode of Akiba Ranger, where the powerful Rangers show up. So,
and it's Dino Force.
Yes. So, just out the gate. Anyone see? I know we watched some of these shows a little bit here and there. Has anyone seen any of these episodes before?
I saw the Lieutenant Surge episode as a kid of Pokemon.
Same.
Makes sense.
Yeah, probably.
This was my first time ever watching Samurai Champloo. I've been curious about the show for years, but I don't know. This would have been the best episode for me to. Maybe it was the best and the worst episode for me to get introduced to Samurai Champloo, where it's a hip-hop samurai show, but instead they do all American baseball.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into the individual shows. Like, what was everybody, like, any other initial thoughts for some of these things? Had anyone seen Akiba Ranger before?
No.
Okay.
No.
Neither have I. I've seen everything else except for that one.
I will say, for Akiba Ranger, I was vaguely reminded of at least, like, the 1 or 2 shows I watched prior to college that were, like, live-action, like, J-dramas that they had on YouTube for a while. And it was kind of camera angles and just all sorts of that kind of thing, just the humor and the facial expressions that they would do.
Yeah.
So I would say it's definitely, like, very Japanese live-action TV.
I haven't watched a lot of that personally. So other than, I guess last month we watched The Man Who Defies the World of BL. But other than that.
I'll say that I was also taking note of that, and it felt a lot like some of the shows my little siblings used to watch. Like the Fresh Beat Band and the Doodle Bops and those kind of shows. And I'm wondering if those were, like, inspired by the Japanese shows. They're very colorful. They have, like, the characters getting just a little too close to the camera, over-the-top expressions.
Were those, like, kids shows?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
They're, like, preschool age.
Okay.
You just unlocked a core memory, CC, that I tried to repress with the Doodle Bops. My sister was obsessed with the Doodle Bops.
Yeah, my siblings really liked that one, and I did not get it. Fresh Beat Band, though, that one was okay. They were cute, they had good music. Doodle Bops, no. Absolutely not.
Never heard of any of these shows.
I have no idea either.
I think it's more they're trying to convey sort of like the feel of an anime, but it's live action. So they're like, they have to kind of go a little bit more ham with it.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, so why don't we go into, like, the nitty-gritty of this? We can get a little bit... Really, it's not important what the episodes are about entirely. It's more the characters, the Americans that we're looking at. But we can go into some short stuff. Pokemon's very easy. It's Ash is trying to get his 3rd badge when he gets to Viridian City, and he's having a problem getting past the American with the evolved Raichu, and there's a whole thing about Pikachu. This is the point where Pikachu decides he will be a baby forever.
Aww.
So, kind of important for
Good
him.
for him.
Also, I gotta love the going back in time to watch Chunky Pikachu.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
I love
We don't
Chunky
have
Pikachu.
Chunky Pikachu anymore. It makes me sad. But yeah, so that.
Well, then I have to ask the question, Al. As someone who's a big Pokemon fan that has played multiple games on the channel now with the Nuzlocke, is the strategy that Ash and Pikachu used to defeat Raichu true, where if you evolve a Pikachu to a Raichu right away, it could still lose to a more experienced Pikachu?
Depends on the Pikachu's level, for one thing. You like putting an electric type against an electric type, not the smartest move, simply because electric is, not very effective against electric types. But Lieutenant Surge actually had pretty good ideas going there. He was using Tail Whip in that second fight, and then Body Slam. Very smart, going for the physical stuff, which Pikachus I don't think are that good with. Agility is not a hitting move, so, he would go faster, but that doesn't mean he's going to hit harder or dodge moves. If Ash had used Double Team, that makes more sense.
Because my one friend from high school is a massive Pokemon fan, and he, grew up watching the show too, and he said that fight mechanically from the games doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to ask you your opinion.
No. On Ash's side, no. On Lieutenant Surge's side, honestly, he had some good strategies because he was mixing up. He wasn't using just electrical attacks or just physical attacks. Or just special attacks. He was also using like Body Slam and Mega Punch and stuff like that, which, yeah, that actually would be pretty good against a Pikachu. But yeah, the show is always going to take a lot of liberties. There is some like strategy to keeping something unevolved for longer because they can learn better moves earlier than their evolved counterparts. But other than that, I think a good example is like Dragonair evolves to Dragonite at 55, but Dragonair will also learn Outrage at 56, which Dragonite won't until the 60s. So you might as well keep the Dragonair for one extra level to get the really good move and then evolve. But other than that, yeah, it's the Pokemon anime. They don't work by actual rules of stuff. I don't know.
They're trying to sell the games.
Here's what we're not talking about. Lieutenant Surge is 8 feet tall.
Yes.
No, canonically, because Pikachu is about a foot tall, and Ash is 4 Pikachus tall. 3.5 to 4 Pikachus tall, depending on the angle that we're seeing it at. And we see a side shot of Lieutenant Surge literally being twice Ash's height. So he's between 7 and 8 feet tall, canonically. We're going to get into some weird stuff with canon here, because there's a couple episodes here where I'm kind of like, okay, make this make sense. But, so what did we learn from Lieutenant Surge? You got to be big, muscular, blonde, and a kind of an asshole to be an American.
And also to look sort of like you belong in the military.
Oh, he is in the military. Like, that's actually a canonical thing as well.
Well, no, but it's like it's very much like a theme that you'll see, at least for one other show. Okay.
And call everybody beneath you baby.
I think that's just for him, but using some sort of slang or some other it's not really like just belittling.
It can be derogatory.
Okay,
in this case it was. He was saying that Ash was like too young to be doing this, too inexperienced.
I think the word belittling is a little more appropriate than derogatory, because derogatory feels like that's a slur you're using. I don't think baby's a slur. But yeah, he canonically is part of the military. I think like early versions of Gen 1 included him saying, me and my Pokemon have been to war. And there is a fan theory that in Gen 1, the Kanto region, one of the reasons Ash doesn't have a father and there's not a lot of adult men around is because it's post-war. It's a post-war region. Which, with Lieutenant Surge, would make some sense. Vermilion City is a port town and the largest port city in that region, so it's possible it's based on the American occupation of Japan post-World War II. But again, that's just fan theories that have been kind of spread around a little.
That's checks out.
Yeah.
I would love to see Pokemon being utilized in war.
Nothing for nothing, he's an electric type user. Voltorb's main attack that he's known for is self-destruct. You could throw a Voltorb in and blow up like a grenade. Like, it's dark. It's dark as fuck. But
that's so funny. It's so like such a contrast to the anime.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Pokemon War in canon? Like one of the games said there was a war.
If that was one of the later games, I'm not always as familiar with their lore and stuff. I do think there was something about a war that killed someone's Pokemon that ultimately they decided to create some sort of multiverse canon. This is like Gen 6, which I did not play. I have to get around to at some point, but that's Yeah, there was like he wanted to go to a reality where his little flower thing was still alive. Or something like that. Whatever the plot of, whatever Kingpin's, like, scheme in Into the Spider-Verse was. Yeah. So, I don't know, anything else to cover with Pokemon, or should we move on and learn what we can from others? How did you guys, like, overall like that episode?
It was pretty fun.
Yeah?
I thought it was fine.
I love it when Pikachu's a little shit.
I think it's kind of showing a little bit more of, like, hey, if you're, trying too hard to, like, be the best and not, strategize and do your thing, kind of, like, just sort of showing, like, I guess, like, a bit of a dichotomy between, like, two different ways of thought.
Yeah.
Which I think also comes back again in another episode that we're going to talk about.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like Team Rocket rooting for Pikachu the entire time, and then they were like, oh shit, we actually rooted for the good guys this episode.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time they did that. They've done it on more than one occasion, but that might have been the first time they did that. So it's a big milestone for everybody in this episode, I think. Oh, it's also the first gym that Ash actually won. Because I'm pretty sure against both Misty and Brock, they just gave him the badges after something else occurred that interrupted their match.
Yeah, I think that they said, like, hey, you need to win your first badge.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think here. That happened with those two. He beats Lieutenant Surge, that's one win. I'm pretty sure the gym that he fought in the next time he goes to a town, it burns down in the middle of their match, and then he helps them stop the fire. So that's why he gets the badge. He doesn't actually beat them. Then it's Sabrina who kicks the living shit out of him.
Yep.
And then he has to get a ghost to depossess her or something. It was very, very weird. But I'm not sure that he beat her either.
Nope.
I think he beat Koga. Maybe. I'd have to look back at that one. Blaine he does beat. I remember that because that was the big Charizard Magmar fight that was huge when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last gym, there's a whole thing going on there, but he does beat them. So I think so that's Lieutenant Surge, Koga, Blaine, and... So he wins half of his badges, technically. But, yeah, I don't know. The rules and reg of the Indigo League are apparently very lax.
There's more lax, I think, probably because the show is more about teaching kids, like, lessons.
Yeah, I don't think they fully... I mean, the games were out. I don't think they fully nailed down everything in the world just yet. So everything was a little bit loosey-goosey. Speaking of loosey-goosey, should we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Sure.
Probably the most loosey-goosey with its gaming property in this. I mean, look, go back and watch our tournament where we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And the this is not how the game fucking works kind of thing. I'm gonna save it. There's a bunch of things here where it's like, that's not how any of that works. But whatever. Bandit Keith versus Joey Wheeler. This was about the point that I realized, man, I picked every episode that included someone with a Brooklyn accent.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. I mean,
that's how
that's
they
America.
talk.
Yeah,
You're either a cowboy or you're from Brooklyn.
Okay, so what can we learn? Because even though I would probably like tangentially say that Joey Wheeler is American, Bandit Keith is really American.
Yeah.
So what do we get out of him?
He's a certain type of American.
He's big, he's muscular, he's blonde, he's an asshole.
A certain type of American.
He wears flag paraphernalia.
Yeah.
He belittles everyone around him.
Oh no.
And
oh no.
If we
I'd stop you right there. Before we go any further.
Why?
Keep going.
Well, if we didn't have the censored 4Kids version, he would also pull a gun on Pegasus.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Instead, he just points menacingly.
Oh, he points so hard at him.
I did catch that. I was like, this feels a little anticlimactic. I feel like he should be holding a gun.
Yeah, that's the 4Kids for
Should
you.
be.
Yeah.
They also censored his big old monster, the Barrel Dragon, which was supposed to basically be a dragon made of 3 revolvers. But they couldn't show guns like that on TV, I guess, so they turned it into flashy plasma, weird CGI overlaps.
It was one of their policies or whatever when they were syndicating the shows.
Yeah.
No guns. Which is
Weird
why
shit.
everything is a finger.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't think Pegasus would feel that bad about being fingered really hard. In any case, so it mostly comprises of a duel between Joey and Bandit Keith. Joey using the strategies that he's learned in the tournament versus Keith's metal machines and all that sort of stuff, which are immune to magic. That is not a thing. Bandit Keith also cheats a lot in this game.
Let's also not forget too that Yugi and his friends provide sports commentary and advice the entire time that everybody in the room can hear.
Bruh, that's just Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Like, there's always a peanut gallery. I think it's very rare that there's ever just, like, a one-on-one thing with no one else around. But even then, they do a ton of voiceover for, like, inner monologues.
You know, it's been a while since I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! The guy on the right, the white-haired guy, who was that guy again?
Pegasus?
Bakura?
Oh, Bakura.
Or
Yeah, that's Bakura. He's sometimes evil, but mostly not. He's the inspiration for fucking Gary.
yes.
Was he the fisherman guy, or was that a different guy?
No, that was Mako Tsunami, man. You gotta
Okay.
figure, he has to have a name that actually, like, matches whatever his thing is. Like, think about it. Weevil Underwood, Rex Raptor, Mako Tsunami. You can tell what deck they use immediately after hearing their name.
Yeah. Except for Bandit Keith.
I mean, he steals stuff and is a criminal, so a bandit right there.
I guess,
And
but
Keith.
he has a metal. He has metal types in his deck.
Yeah, but Keith, the most American name of all, and we make a lot of machines. I don't know.
I
Manufacturing
guess.
stuff.
Steel.
Steel. Yes. Actually, yeah, Bandit Steel.
Ah.
Yeah, what did we, like, we watched other episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! It made it pretty far in
Yes.
the Collect 'em All tournament, so
Mm-hmm.
how are we feeling about, obviously this is a bunch of episodes ahead of it, but how are we feeling
Right.
about that?
I think this is fine. I feel like I've seen parts of maybe like this portion of the show, but never like this episode itself. It's fine.
Yeah, I had fun with it.
I guess the shame of it is that we don't get to see afterwards whenever Joey has to fight Yugi for the first of many times. I think this is one of the few times that mind control wasn't involved, I guess.
That seems like cheating.
No. I think someone else was mind controlling one of them to fight the other. So it was like, I don't know if it's cheating. It's definitely coercion. Anything stand out to you guys about it?
I mean, I would say that their portrayal of an American is both stereotypical, but at the same time realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the honorable American versus the asshole American.
Yeah, I'll take that if we do get to count Joey Wheeler as a pseudo-American.
Okay, yes, I know they're technically in Japan, but come on, that 4Kids stuff wasn't hiding anything.
Definitely in this version, he's American.
I'm genuinely trying to remember because I know that Joey's parents are divorced and he went to live with his dad while his sister went to live with the mom. I can't remember if this was one of those divorced kids in anime where he did actually live in America for a while.
Okay, like, is there... I mean, I guess if that's the reason, then I see why he has that accent, but, like, why'd they give him that accent?
Make him
I don't
sound
know.
tough.
It was just for fun.
I think there's a thing that sometimes happens in anime where they will give them regional accents depending on where they're from. Like, I know there's a specific accent for Okinawa, and a lot of times whenever they translate it over, because that character's dialogue was different in general because of...
They make it southern.
Yeah, they make them southern because it's like, okay, they sound different. So I don't know if there's a similar situation of like, because I think Joey and Tristan were like delinquents or something on some
Yeah.
level, and I don't know if they were like, hey, we'll make it sound like they're from Brooklyn or something. They sound street tough like that.
Huh. Interesting.
It's just a theory on my end.
Never question the decision making of 4Kids.
Yeah, it's always gonna be a little questionable.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Since they were played back to back, does James and Pegasus have the same voice actor?
James has had multiple voice actors. Hang on, let me double check.
It did sound familiar, I'll give you that.
To be fair, they are both 4Kids dubs, so there is a lot of overlap.
I know my one friend, my one friend from high school. He used to quote all the time Kunai and Chain. I never knew where that came from, and now I finally figured out where that came from this episode.
God, it's always so weird whenever I look this up. His name is Pegasus J. Crawford, but they changed it to Maximilian Pegasus.
I kind of like that better.
Maximilian? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking cool. No, he was not one of the Jameses.
No, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What else do you guys want to talk about here? It's like, we can't really like go into like what the larger plot of what's going on there is, because it's like, well, we're only watching this for Bandit Keith.
It was very easy to like jump in and out.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the good things about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! They were always very episodic. And even for Yu-Gi-Oh! When I think they like usually did that thing of like, okay, we're going to split the duel between 2 different episodes and that, they with the flashbacks and everything else, it was usually pretty easy to jump back in, which I remember vividly watching Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid and being like, well, I missed last week. I don't know what's happening. Oh, well, I'll just figure it out. I don't know. Anything else, or should we move on to our next piece?
Next.
All right. So going back, this is actually the oldest entry on this list from 1994. How many of you were alive?
Almost.
Nope.
God damn it, I feel old. So
When in 94?
Wait. This was 94. I thought this was like the 70s.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
It does look old.
Because I was saying this looked like, there was a lot of shots in this that looked like Astro Boy.
It looked like the 80s to me.
Yeah.
It looked vaguely like Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
the first Mobile Suit Gundam was like what 79 or something like that. So
I think it was in the 80s. I might. Nah, I don't know. I need to double check some stuff. But yeah, so we watched G Gundam. This is the second episode of G Gundam. So there was only one episode before this. I think he was in Italy and he fought an Italian dude who was a real asshole. So I guess not just Americans are assholes. That's nice. But we have Chibbity Crockett, the heavyweight. Well, I don't even know if he's heavyweight. He's definitely the champ, and he's a boxer, and he's the fighter for America, Neo America, because this is the future, and world politics is decided by Gundam Olympics every couple of years.
Yes, in the United Space.
United Space. Yeah, what can we get out of Chibbity Crockett?
He's kind of full of himself.
Okay, so he's arrogant, tall,
Yeah.
muscular, not blonde for once.
Mm-hmm. But he does have interesting hair.
Yes. I'll get to a point about that. Athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Not belittling, so that's nice. At least not too much, I don't think.
he's a boxer, and boxing was big in the U.S. in the 80s and 90s.
I mean, it's been big for a while, but yeah.
Not as much as it was years ago.
I mean, are you only counting the 80s and 90s? You're not thinking it was popular before that?
True.
Yeah. So, yeah, how do you... I mean, I don't feel like... I feel like, unfortunately, the one person here who is, like, an actual, like, Gundam aficionado is not here. But how many other Gundams have you guys seen? I know we watched that one Build Fighters thing for the Collect Them All deal, and that's not really Gundam.
No.
I've just seen the newest show, The Witch from Mercury, that came out last year. So,
Okay.
So, yeah.
So this is probably not the best intro of things to regular Gundam, because it's not even regular Gundam. They're not at war like you usually see. But I do like this series for the variety of Gundams that you get to see throughout the show. Because it's, hey, let's make a Gundam for every national stereotype. Which is, I guess... Which, hey, for our purposes today, of figuring out what the Japanese think of Americans, it's basically a football-playing boxer. Sounds about right. Yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think about some of this? I guess since this is one of the first show that we're talking about that we haven't actually, like, viewed some other element of, what did you guys think of the show in general, I guess we can say?
I mean, I was going to say that the animation was impressive for, like, a show in the early 80s, but since you said it was 94, I guess the animation's fine for something that's 30 years old. Like, it's 2D max, it's not CG, so I guess there's that.
I forgot how old this looks. I'm pretty sure I watched this in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s.
I am surprised this was the second episode because I could not keep up.
Same.
I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
It's, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's at least 50 episodes, and it's...
I would have put this at like number 35.
I'm pretty sure they like drip feed you the plot a little bit. Other than like that thing in the beginning where that announcer dude gave you the spiel of the world.
Right.
The personal character plots are slow burn. But I can tell you that Domon, our main character from Japan and representative of Japan with the Shining Gundam, which is the one without a stereotype. I guess Japan made Gundam so they get standard Gundam for their stereotype. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Not a default.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a angsty speed racer thing going on where he's looking for his brother or whoever killed his brother. I forget what, but
he's looking for revenge.
Yeah, he's got a lot of anger issues and a sexy sidekick who definitely is into him, but he won't give her the time of day because anime. Yeah, we should probably talk a little bit more about Chibity and why his thing doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna level with you because I was kind of thinking his hair is interesting. You're right. He's like bluish purple, but with like that pink streak thing, and I'm like, is that intentional? But then we have flashbacks of him when he's a kid and he doesn't have it, so it has to either be intentional or he's getting older and his hair is starting to turn white, and that's the transition color.
No, I want to say they're trying to portray Americans as people who are a bit less serious and more extravagant in appearance.
You're right, because I looked it up. Canonically, he is 20 years old.
Maybe it's not just Americans are eccentric. Maybe it's just that we're bisexual.
I mean, his cheerleading section would suggest otherwise, but he was giving Domon some doomy eyes, so I'll give you that. It was the 90s. Anything could happen. Honestly, the way he dresses, yeah, I could see it. He's like sleeveless shirt with a star on it and tasseled cowboy jacket.
He's just American.
I think he's hanging out with Freddie Mercury.
Honestly, that style reminds me of something you would have probably seen at like a mall or in like one of those movies.
It reminds me of Midnight Cowboy.
I was just gonna say
That's fair, yeah. A little bit.
Which, like, if you don't know what that movie, it's about a hooker.
True.
It's about John Voight playing a male prostitute.
Okay.
Isn't it Dustin Hoffman? Oh, the other.
Dustin Hoffman was the guy who was trying to set him up with people. But it is the movie where we got...
I'm walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch! You don't talk to me that way! Get out of here!
Also a very New York thing, so...
Yeah.
I think that's the only, like, rated X movie that was ever up for an Oscar. Yeah.
Wow.
So, interesting stuff. Anyway, about this, though. Here's my problem with Chibity being 20 years old. They say whenever he's entering the ring, which first off, it's just a quick aside. No one noticed when the black guy was replaced by a Japanese guy at the last minute. That everyone was just like, yeah, no, that makes sense. That threw me for a loop for a minute. But here's my issue. Chibity's 20 years old. He's a professional boxer. Yep. That's fine. Okay. You can enter professional boxing at the age of 18. So that's fine. Here's my issue. They said he had 100 wins. His record was 100-0. Okay, fine. You can have a record like that, but it takes a very long time. You want to know why? Because those are professional bouts, and the average professional boxer only has like those sanctioned bouts 4 to 5 times a year. And I'm doing the math here. If he, as soon as he's 18, becomes a professional boxer, he would have had to have had a professional, like, this is for, like, actual importance fight once a week, every week for 2 years straight. He should be dead.
He's hustling. He's on that grind
No,
set.
he should be straight up dead. His body should be nothing but scar tissue.
I don't think the writers were thinking about it that hard.
Oh, they straight up
logic.
weren't. They straight up weren't, because, like, if you actually, like, because, like, I'm going to throw this out there to you, because we're talking about, like, boxing from, like, the 80s and 90s and stuff. Mike Tyson, everybody knows that name. That's a household name. He had a 20-year career from 1985 to 2005. How many like official bouts do you think he had?
Less than 100.
58.
Okay.
Chibity has fought twice as many fights as Mike Tyson in 1/10 of the time. I don't believe you.
That's
Again.
why he's going gray / purple.
See,
Again, I think they were throwing numbers at the wall just to make him sound cool.
I know. It's stupid, though. It makes you look stupid. Here's the thing, though.
Oh, no,
I
wait.
think-
He's American. He's lying on his resume. That's what they've all been doing. They're cheating.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, he's a cheater. I actually think it kind of would have been a little bit better if you followed the average of like 4 to 5 a year. Even if you eventually have like that kind of drop off when you get a big name for yourself, you fight a little bit less because there's more time for promotion and stuff. I think he should have had like a 25-year career to get that many. So he should be somewhere in his 40s, and then the like colored hair changes into, oh, he's getting old. And then I'm kind of a little more interested in his story. It's kind of like Rocky and Apollo in the later Rocky movies. And I'm kind of like, oh, it's an aging boxer who has a really great record, but he's also like, I need to go out on top kind of thing. But they didn't do that. Instead, he's a dude in his 20s who's the hope of America and New York City, and he loses a fight in a Gundam fight. But people are like, nah, it's cool. You're still awesome. I think he's just dumb as a brick.
Another thing that is a stereotype for Americans.
That's fair. That's fair.
Completely valid opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Do you guys think like you maybe want to watch more of this series?
Probably not,
No?
if I'm being honest.
I'm totally neutral.
I personally would like to see more of the fighting inside of the suits.
Yeah, with their gimp suits.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing for nothing. I gotta give Domon this. He's got that Dick Grayson ass.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, canonically, Dick Grayson, Nightwing from DC Comics, has the best ass in the DC universe.
So true.
I mean, how many different people have nicknames for each of his cheeks?
I think he had nicknames for each of his cheeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to put him up against Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh.
I need to see that
Can have
showdown.
an ass off.
No, I'm going to be real with you. I think Nightwing wins because that's America's ass. America's a country. The DC universe is a universe.
That's the universe.
He has a universal ass. So
It's the MCU.
yeah, but again, it's America's ass, not the
Okay.
MCU's ass.
All right, that's fair.
So, you know, I don't know. There's a larger debate that could be had here, but yeah, I think I kind of like it because you have a lot of different Gundams and that, especially when you get to the actual tournament arc later. Sweden has a Sailor Moon Gundam. Make it make
That's
sense.
amazing.
It doesn't, but whatever. And she's the only girl pilot.
They no. They foreshadowed the Carmadillion girls 14 years later in 2008. Everybody thought that was Japanese. No, that was Swedish.
Yeah.
You know what? You got a point there, man. You got a point. All right. Anything else to cover here, or should we move along?
I think we covered it.
Okay. What's next? Samurai Champloo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is compared to the last one. This is a much later episode in their series. I think they had like 24, 26 episodes or something like that. This is like 21 or 23 or
No.
something. I forget
This
where.
is number 23 according to the title card.
Okay, 23. Yeah. I know it was later. This is like right before they go and do like their final arc bit. So honestly,
Instead of having their beach episode, they had a baseball episode.
I'm trying to think. Did they have a beach episode? I know they had some island episodes. Not necessarily a beach episode though. They had a zombie episode. Oh wait, they had a hot spring episode.
There you go.
Yeah. In that one, Mugen takes down an entire army of ninjas for the Nookie. But yeah. So
Yeah.
in this one, we have a couple of Americans. So that's good. That actually helps with the sample size. There's a bunch of dudes from the US Navy who intend to take over Japan, invade Japan, open up trade with... It's not entirely clear, but they want something to do with Japan. And so what can we learn from them? They're ugly. A lot of them are overweight. Very crass language. They love baseball.
They're big.
They're big.
Just big.
Big in general.
They
yeah.
think they pretty much think that the Japanese people are savages. So there's that.
I mean, they thought of that about a lot of people, so...
Yeah. Anything else we can learn from them? Oh, they cheat. They cheat. Let's not forget that.
Well,
because we always have to win.
I will say this. I know baseball gets a big bad rap, even though it's considered America's pastime. A lot of people consider it boring. As someone who does love baseball, I will say this. It would be very, very, very different, but very, very, very entertaining if violent baseball was a thing.
Honestly, if it were me, I kind of want to see the version from Futurama that includes mini bikes, multi-ball, and a giant spider in the outfield. Oh, and the ball's on a string, so it bounces all over the place?
Paddleball?
Kind of. I think they call it Blurn's ball.
Yeah. But just the idea of, towards the end of the game, it was literally one-on-one, as in literally one-on-one. There was one American and one, the other guy on the other team. And at the start of the game, they literally had, like a chipmunk and what was the other animal
it was
on
a
their
dog.
team? A dog.
I'm pretty sure that squirrel has been there in a bunch of other episodes, but I might be wrong.
Squirrel just kind of follows them around, is hoping for peanuts.
Yeah, so the Americans invade, and then they're challenged to, a la Space Jam, are challenged to a baseball game for the fate of the country by, I'm just going to call him a ninja because he's voiced by the guy who voiced Kakashi. So,
I mean, he literally says he was a ninja.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Also, from Brooklyn.
Yes. That too.
I swear I did not realize everyone was going to be from Brooklyn in this.
It's a stereotype. If you're not from Texas, you're from New York.
Yep. So yeah, what overall did you guys think about this? Honestly, probably the most ridiculous episode that we had. Well, I shouldn't say that. We got another one coming.
I mean, it was entertaining. I'll give it that. I mean, again, probably not the best introduction for Samurai Champloo, but it was still pretty funny.
Yeah.
I loved it. I could have watched an entire series just about this baseball.
It was very chill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll say this. As far as like a representation of what the rest of the series is, I have seen Samurai Champloo. Yeah, pretty much.
That's the whole show.
Did we
I mean...
not watch an episode for the something?
No. We never watched Samurai Champloo. Which is surprising, because I'm a big fan of Shinichiro Watanabe, who made Cowboy Bebop, and he also made this. So, I mean, it kind of explains the genre with the kind of out there music choice combination.
I mean, wasn't that his idea to combine Japanese with hip-hop?
Yep.
When he made the show?
Yep. He was the director. That was his call. Also has Steve Bloom in it, so...
Yeah.
Trying to think. The tough thing is, like, it's such an episodic show that it's like, this literally has nothing to do with the plot at all.
Yeah, I mean, Cowboy Bebop was kind of an episodic show. It had a few, it had a few lingering plots, but there was episodes that were just like, okay, they're gonna trip out on shrooms, or they're gonna get into a shootout one episode, and the next episode it's just something different.
And then one day Cowboy Andy shows up, and that's the best episode. Good times. I don't know, I enjoy this for, like, I always like those kind of, like, Bad News Bears, like, unconventional teams and tricks kind of thing. Like, you guys ever see Little Giants?
No.
It was, like... Cece, you like Mighty Ducks, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Love
you'd like
Mighty
Little
Ducks.
Giants. Hear me out here.
Is it a baseball movie?
It's a football movie.
Okay.
Little Giants is about Rick Moranis and his older brother, the grandpa from Modern Family.
Okay.
They both have football teams, like pee-wee football teams, and they're just like, hey, we're the underdogs with the Rick Moranis team. How do we beat the unstoppable team? Well, we're just going to have to get crafty with it. And of course, they get help from John Madden and the Oakland Raiders. But, other than that,
I might have to look into that.
it's a good movie. I need to watch it again.
I've seen most, like, baseball movies.
Yeah.
Watched, like, all of those growing up.
Yeah. It's right in that, like, Bad News Bears, Mighty Ducks wheelhouse.
Bad News Bears is, like, the one that I haven't seen.
The remake or the original?
Either.
Both are good, I think. I actually, weirdly enough, did enjoy Billy Bob Thornton in the remake.
Is it on the list?
Oh, they're all on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I talking about? Yeah, unconventional, weird sports type stuff. Always fun. Yeah, I kind of just want to go watch some sports movies now. Like the funny ones. Replacements is really fun with Keanu Reeves as the quarterback. Good stuff. There's actually a bunch of people in that one. But yeah, I don't know. I have trouble comparing it to other baseball episodes from anime because I just don't like really go into that much. It'll usually be a slice of life thing, I guess.
Well, the only show that I can even think of that has a baseball episode other than this is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Haruhi Suzumiya has one.
That too.
I'm sure there are others.
There are baseball shows,
Wait a minute.
but that's like a different beast, I think.
What's the one I can never remember the name of? The ramens.
Oh.
Kantatsu ramens?
Tonkatsu.
Something ramens. The whatever it's like Durarara, but with a bunch of assassins, and they're all on an intramural baseball team.
Huh.
You might have to watch that at some point
It's
too.
fun,
It
yeah.
is fun.
And it did cross over with the Durarara light novels.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, they just have that, they just gave that vibe.
Yeah, they're really similar.
Yeah.
Not the same authors.
Well, now I
though.
want ramen, thanks.
Well, man, I want Keanu Reeves in football pads, man. We all gotta take what we want.
Listen, I'm hungry, okay?
So am I, Keanu Reeves. But yeah. Any other things to say about this, or would you guys want to watch Samurai Champloo at some point for real?
Maybe.
Sure.
Okay. Maybe we'll have to save that for save a rewatch or revisit for a later time with this. So, moving on to our last one. This is the only non-anime, but it's basically anime. Akiba Ranger, but I think there's like more to the title. It's like unofficial Super Sentai Akiba Ranger or something. I forget who I didn't want to go into a ton of research. I just wanted to go in cold, but essentially the premise of this show is a bunch of a couple Super Sentai fans get Super Sentai powers.
From action figures.
Yep.
Or figures, just in general.
Yeah. This is definitely the weirdest show that we've watched for this week.
I think it's more like a commentary, for people who are into Super Sentai with the Super Sentai thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like they're all otaku to a certain extent.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if we watched anime about otaku. I mean, Princess Jellyfish maybe.
Yeah.
But Princess Jellyfish never became a superhero.
Yes. And then there's also, this is otaku adjacent. Yoapeta has an otaku main character.
That's true.
But it's a sports anime.
But he doesn't get superpowers.
No, but he loves magical girls.
Shit. I just realized.
Sports anime.
I just realized Samurai Flamenco is the story of an otaku who gets superpowers eventually.
Oh, there we go.
We have to rewatch that show. You guys have to see how crazy it gets later. Because we didn't even get to the part where it actually ramps up. But yeah, I've honestly seen a couple people online debate that show. Is like, is this the stupidest show or the most brilliant show? We don't know. Which is right up my alley, of course.
It definitely has a specific brand of humor.
This one?
No.
Oh, flamenco.
Yes.
Yeah. In any case, this one. We've watched Power Rangers on here, so we have a little bit of something to compare here that we haven't really watched like a Super Sentai show in its traditional form. But it doesn't matter because this episode, which is like episode 205, so it's in its second season. So one of the characters, the Blue Ranger, who I guess isn't actually into it, and they're the person who the yellow and red are the actual otaku, and then the blue one's you got dragged to the con. Friend.
The blue one is an idol.
Yeah, but she's not into this stuff, so she doesn't know. But yeah, I liked Japanese Steven Spielberg.
Oh yes.
Yes.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Spielberton, you mean?
Yes. Who is a powerful Rangers fan, and thus the powerful Rangers show up and beat up the Akiba Rangers.
Yes.
And they're
Dino Thunder.
They are not Dino Thunder. They're the Mighty Morphin. Come on, man.
True. There are too many of them. Give me a break.
Okay, first off, there is Mighty Morphin that has dinosaurs. There's Dino Thunder that has dinosaurs. There's Dino Charge, and then it's the Super Dino Charge, but that's the same thing. So there's only 3 that have dinosaurs.
Yes, but there's too many Super Sentai Power Ranger things, dude. I don't watch them. Give me a break.
We literally watched the series that they were from.
Yes,
So
we did.
I don't know what your
but
excuse is.
also, it's been a while, and I'm brain tired.
Fine. I guess there is some overlap since the guy who played the Green Ranger in Power Rangers was also the Black Ranger in Dino Thunder. So
Yes.
there is that. We should really watch the Red Ranger, the all red thing, red something. I forget. It was like an anniversary thing where all the Red Rangers teamed up to do some fight stuff. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think any of us have any experience with this, but I genuinely think I might want to just watch this show just for like the laughs, because it's right up my alley for ridiculousness.
I would say it's pretty, like, humor-wise, it seems more on par with, like, a lot of Japanese, like, live-action stuff. And it's definitely a lot sillier, I would say, than probably what they were going for with whatever the scripts were for the for Power Rangers, for like the version of this that we are most familiar with, probably because this is actually probably made more for adults than it is actually made for kids. So
I don't entirely agree. This is sort of a parody in a weird way.
Which in that way is more for adults.
I guess. Like, the original Power Rangers compared to the original Super Sentai, which was Ranger, that these guys are from, and Power Rangers, they were probably on equal terms as far as seriousness goes.
I just think some of this humor is definitely meant for more of a teenage boy adult audience.
That is my level of maturity.
I don't think they'll get the meta of it.
Yeah.
Or the boobs.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of boobs in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a show that's right up my alley. I did like the weird kind of like thing that was going on with, like, because Blue doesn't know any better, she thinks that the Power Rangers were first instead of the Sentai thing, and thus reality is changing around. There's some reality warping thing going on with the show that I don't entirely understand. There's something about a delusional world that affects reality. I don't know. Also, the villain just sort of drives around in a van all day.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Now, this one reminded me of Love After World Domination, for just sort of like the mundane ridiculousness of it. Like being a villain is a day job, almost.
I mean, for villains, it probably is.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, if you're gonna be working overnight all the time, being a villain sucks!
Yeah. We should talk about, so again, this is literally the Japanese interpretation of what Americans are with their own property. So what did we learn from the Powerful Rangers before they got de-American hypnotized? They're assholes.
Yep.
Yeah. Loud perverts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Loud perverts. They wear flag paraphernalia.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna sue you.
Ah, yeah, we do like our lawsuits.
Yep.
Is there anything else? They're very violent.
Yes.
They're violent, sort of as a punch first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
I don't think I missed anything.
Nope.
I think Japan has a very negative view of Americans.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
we don't really help ourselves very much.
Probably not.
I think it's kind of accurate, you know?
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about Akiba Ranger, or should we, like, conclude our thoughts on being the American that the Japanese think we are?
I really liked this show.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. But I feel like if I, like, tried to watch the whole show, I would be, like, overstimulated.
I
Yeah,
could
it's a
see
lot.
that. Maybe a week to
Like,
week
I just
thing?
like this one episode. Oh, that's a good point. You're not supposed to, like, binge things.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't watch this. I got 30 seconds into it and I had to turn it off. My brain was hurting.
Oh no!
Was it? What exactly was hurting your brain?
I was watching all the episodes in a row, and by the time I got to that, I was like, okay, I'll get through this last episode, but my mind was like, okay, I'm getting through these episodes in a row, and then everyone just started yelling and screaming at each other within like the first 30 seconds. Like, yeah, I need a break, and I didn't go back to it.
Oh dear, so you didn't get to see the boobs or the fights.
I might have to go back for the boobs and the fights.
It's the American way.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did like the, because at first I was kind of like, these fight scenes are really lame. And then they actually like amped up the quality of it as soon as they turned back into Super Sentai Rangers as opposed to Power Rangers. And I guess that was them like thematically being like, this is better.
Sounds about right. Also, a quick thing. How did they go from being in a park to being in a quarry?
That is just a thing that they do.
I know.
That's just a
it
thing.
doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Here's the thing. Anytime there's a Power Rangers fight, no matter where it starts, it ends up in a quarry or an abandoned, warehouse district.
It's because they decimated the area.
Yeah, or they teleport or do whatever. It's just how it works.
It's probably one of the few places that they're allowed to film.
Yeah, because it's cheap and you don't have to shut down traffic and stuff. So
Yeah.
I know Power Rangers was notoriously cheap, but I have to imagine that the Super Sentai, for the amount that they produce, as far as episodes and series and all that goes, and how much goes into the costumes and everything, they have to try to skimp on locations a lot of times.
I mean, I feel like that's a common thing with Japanese shows a lot of times. They'll film in an actual high school. Because I even think, correct me if I'm wrong, the Ouran High School Host Club live action show, I'm pretty sure they filmed it in a regular school.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Should it be on the list?
Maybe, but I don't know. I remember seeing screenshots and it didn't really look like it was all that fancy. I'm like, this is supposed to be a rich kid school. Where are all the fancy couches?
We can't afford rich kid stuff.
But yeah, so.
All right. Any other thoughts on Akiba Ranger?
Nope.
All right. I'm just going to give a quick general. I think all of these shows to some degree for me are a yay. Not that it really matters for this week, but Pokemon's a good time. Yu-Gi-Oh's a good time. G Gundam, I think it varies in some degree of quality, but I have a lot of fun with it whenever they do get into the fights and stuff. Samurai Champloo's a great time. And Akiba Ranger seems like it's going to be very interesting if I go back and see the rest of it.
I think for me, it varied show to show a lot. I think I really enjoyed Pokemon and Samurai Champloo. I think the Power Rangers one was fun, but I don't know that I'd watch more. And the other ones I was strictly neutral about. So I guess overall it kind of evens out to a meh to yay.
I think for me, I wasn't really watching the episodes for the quality of the show itself, more for just what the Americans were like. So I don't really have much of an opinion to give for whether or not it's a yay or a nay for any of these particular shows, except maybe an unfortunate yay for the portrayal of Americans, because I think some of them got it at least quite a bit right.
Yeah, I mean, the Pokemon episode was, a childhood episode for me. The Yu-Gi-Oh ones were entertaining because I thought Yu-Gi-Oh was entertaining when we watched it. The G Gundam one, I mean, it's cool seeing 2D mechs and stuff like that, I guess. The Samurai Champloo one, I mean, maybe just make a baseball game where there was a American football game that came out in the mid 2000s. I think it was called a NFL Blitz. I could be wrong, but you could do gruesome injuries to each other. You can literally break each other's legs in the game, and you can do career-ending injuries to people. So do something like that with baseball. like just beam at their head the entire time, or go for the legs, or you know how they have fights in MLB, like do full-on hockey brawls, like just do that.
Oh, you can do full-on
Anyway.
hockey brawls in NHL.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but do that for the MLB
Oh,
with
okay.
no repercussions. Yeah. So yeah, and then yeah. So yeah.
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 Think I'm with Chibi on this one. Like, all these shows are a light yay, more or less. But I was more like, how do they portray Americans? And I think they all get a yay on that one.
Okay. So at the end of it all, what can we gather out of all the ones that we've seen, and maybe other ones that we've seen throughout our little stuff from this month? So, what do we have to be the American that the Japanese think we are? We have to be big in some form or fashion, whether that's tall or muscular or fat or something like that. We guys got to have something big about us.
I failed that one.
We need to be very crass, have just very mean, nasty language, and be very arrogant with it.
I mean, I drop enough F-bombs as it is, so...
Yeah, I think we all do. But do you belittle enough people?
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe you should try a little harder, baby. We need probably...
That was a different baby than what was going on in Pokemon.
How do you know, baby? We need either some kind of military or flag paraphernalia about us. We probably need to cheat at something. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm remembering now, Chibity himself didn't cheat, but the people from the Department of Defense did. So, they're part of this, I guess. And we more or less need to be from Brooklyn or Texas.
I got that one.
I hate to say it, but like overall, by these qualities, none of us are very American, and I think we need to do better.
Do we? Too bad Kozi isn't here. She's from New York. Not Brooklyn, but...
Yeah, I don't think Buffalo counts.
But Buffalo are very American.
Buffalo are very American, and that's where the sauce comes from. And what's more American than buffalo wings?
Hamburgers.
Shut up.
Hot dogs.
Shut up. Baby.
Anything you can find at a baseball game.
Baseball. That's pretty... Well, I mean, we only did sports. Some level of sports. That's American. Yeah. I don't feel like we learned anything from this week.
I don't really think that was the purpose.
You're probably right. I think the purpose was to talk about some random shit that I've been like, I don't know how to incorporate this elsewhere.
I mean, it was fine. It was fun.
I feel like I've been doing that at least once a month. I'm like, I just want to watch this, and I don't have another way to put it in here. So let's just do this.
I think you should do this like random episodes thing again, but you should do like a bingo card.
Could we do this? Ooh.
That would be good. You know what? I'm going to put some thought into this and try to figure out something for later. We might have some stuff coming down. Here's the thing. We have been doing theme months, and we could do that month to month and figure that out.
I have a suggestion for something like this,
Sure.
and I feel like I've suggested it before.
Go for
I
it.
don't remember if we've done it before or not. Can we have an episode where it's just random Halloween episodes?
I mean, we do kind of do random Halloween stuff during October to some degree, but if we can, I'll take a look and see what we can fit in. October is coming up, so might be a good idea. But speaking of other months that aren't this month, we got a new month coming up next week. It's going to be August. There's not really a particular holiday connected to that, I don't think, unless there's something I'm forgetting.
I mean, at least not for America.
No, and that's what we really care about is America. So, yeah, we decided to do some video game adaptations and that. Some anime adaptations of video game properties. A good transition because we want to have some Americans in the next one. We're going to do Ace Attorney, the anime. I've heard...
Japanifornia.
Yeah, Japanifornia. That's kind of America. It's basically America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I've heard mixed things about it, but I'm willing to come in with an open mind. It's especially good since we finally finished that game.
And it'll be interesting because we watched the live-action movie.
We have, yeah. It'll be interesting to compare. We also have Danganronpa. Am I saying that right?
Danganronpa.
Goddamn Rompa. Goddamn Rampa. Gotcha. I'm aware that's a video game. I'm vaguely aware of it because I have friends who are fans of it, but I know nothing of that property whatsoever, really. Other than pink bukkake blood.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. After that, we got Persona 4, which, Envy, you've mentioned Persona a couple times, I think, but again, not familiar with it myself.
It's actually a pretty good introduction, I'm not gonna lie.
All right, fantastic. We'll have to see how goddamn Rampa does as well. And Angels of Death, which is a game that we have played and finished.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're doing a sandwich. We're doing 2 games that we finished and 2 games we never played on the channel at all. And it's a nice little full house sandwich. It's not a full house. That's a different thing. But it's a nice little sandwich that we got going on for you next month in August, and then we'll be moving on to the other stuff that we got planned for you after that. We got a bunch of fun things for the end of the year, I think. But yeah, so come back for those and all the other things we got going on. So we'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!